What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and this is the Banner Saga, a game by Stoic Studios, which has been a lot of fun thus far, aside from the fact that this game is like it's like they take sand and then they rub it into your urethra, and then they kick you repeatedly, just in the junk, over and over and over again, and then Stoic Studios just dances off into the distance like, wasn't that fun? That's the type of fun I mean when I say that the game is fun. So anyways, in the previous episode, we had gotten all of our supplies stolen that we had just bought. I mean, I could try and tell you like the full expanse of the situation, but basically we got stolen from. We chased down the thieves, which then made us get stolen from more, because apparently taking 8 guys to go chase down the people who stole from us meant that all 140 of our fighters weren't paying attention. I don't know, the logic astounds me. But we're now forced to spend everything we made in that last battle. My option right now, what I had expressed previously, is that what I would do, were I the leader of this group, is I would just raise this entire village now and take what I wanted, because they had proven that they're a bunch of just nasty bastards who don't deserve to live anymore. And so, like, who does that? Who pokes a group? I've got like 700 men camping in the middle of your city, and who then goes and pokes the tiger like that? Well, apparently these people, and since Stoic Studios haven't given me the ability to retaliate, I suppose that given the lack of choice, I just have to take it. So let's spend all of the renown that we just made to get back to where we were. And I sound spiteful, I know, because it's repeated. It's over and over and over again. You just can't win. We're gonna rest here for another day or two. A random assortment of people from the caravan confront you. Listen, says one, we don't feel safe here. I don't know anything about menders or whatever, but we're gonna leave and I hope you'll join us. Looks like a couple dozen people, farmer and fighters alike, feel the same way. I'm gonna encourage them to stay. You make it very clear they're not interested in discussing the issue, shaking their heads and setting out. With the rest of the caravan ready to go, there's little you can do to stop them. You hope they make it and that you haven't made a mistake yourself. Well, we lost fighters, we lost everything right there. I'm gonna go with Avon, though, since he's the only Jedi we've been across this entire time. And I'm going to blame it squarely on Avon if this is his fault. We've done 4 days now. Avon, what the hell is going on? Okay, we're leaving. Screw this. Rook, wait, please, Avon begs. She's not coming. Let's go. Avon looks out across the lake with a 1,000-mile stare. You're an asshole, and you're making us waste our time. You're lucky I don't hang you up from a pike right now. We've got problems, says Ivor. The whole place is flooded. We could try and walk the muddy parts, but it'll be slow going. We could try to float around the caravan over the lake, but we might tip or get stuck. Or we could just go around the whole thing, but no idea how long that'll take. What do you think? Let's go ahead and... We've got no supplies to lose, so let's go ahead and float across. You spend some time rigging the wagons to float on the water, sealing them with tree sap and whatever else you have on hand. The rest of the caravan finds anything they can to float on, small boats or makeshift rafts. Some will swim, and with a deep breath you set off from the bank. You do your best to float the various ragtag groups of your caravan across Muddy Lake towards Boarsgard. Things quickly go bad between rafts pulling apart or people tipping into the murky water of the lake. Eventually you gather everyone up, but you've lost precious time and supplies to the bog. So there it is. Once again, my urethra feels that familiar pain of burning, and... God... This game, they shouldn't have named it the Banner Saga. It should be called Bad Things Happen and You Will Enjoy It. That's what they should call it. So people are now dying off because we have no supplies. But at least our morale is good. On the plus side, everybody's making merry with the fact that we're starving to death. So there must be some good jokesters around that can make this whole thing a little bit more tolerable. But as you can see, each day our morale's going to drop off. A group of men with broad shoulders and thick cloaks approach the caravan. They might be outlaws you hear nearby, and the idea quickly ripples through the clansmen. God, our followers are so stupid that it's just... Do they not understand morale here? Just shut up, don't say anything. One of the strangers approaches, saying, we've run out of food. Any help would be welcome. Yeah, go to hell, pal. Sucks to be you. The men look surprised by your offer. In short order, they join the caravan and start sharing tales and drinks. Unfortunately, as less than a day later, you discover they vanished along with a sizable portion of your supplies. We don't have any. So, ha ha ha, Banner there you go, Stoic. Joke's on you. I don't have anything to lose. Oh my god, this game is simply awful. And I don't mean awful as in it's not fun. It's as in awful in terms of just nothing good ever happens. As you're about to head off to sleep for the night, Onef pulls you aside. I have a couple concerns I wanted to speak with you about. In private, you find a quiet place to talk. What's on your mind? How well do you know the people traveling with us? How many strangers are in the caravan now? We have picked up quite a few. I've been watching folks since I joined you. Your companions from Skogir, they're loyal. I mean, it seems pretty clear that they'd die to protect you. I suppose I'd do the same. What about the Varl? You don't even know half those warriors. You're telling me they have no problem following a man's orders now? Even after everything that happened at Einertoft? I trust Ivor to handle it. He's fearless, I'll give you that, but look at him. He's run ragged. He can't be there all the time. What happens the first time the Varl don't want to do what you tell them? If Krumir gave the word, I guarantee at least half would follow. Let's be honest. They could take this caravan by force at any time if they wanted to. We've got no choice but to trust him. I gotta disagree with that, Rook. We've always had a choice. They're not the biggest problem, though. There's a mender with us, a mender who pulls lightning from the sky and tells us what to do and where to go. Yeah, a mender who I'm never listening to ever again. Myself, I think we lucked out when this mentor didn't show up in Sigurholm. Avon's just an apprentice? What in the depths is his master capable of? Think about it, Rook. What do you really know about Avon? I heard they were found practically dead in the middle of nowhere when the dredge started showing up. Suddenly they need our help instead of the Mender Council? How does that make any damn sense? You make some valid points. Points you should have made on your own. I'm grateful for what you've done to get us this far, Rook, but it's been about trust. I think it's time to part ways, so to speak. It's nothing personal. Suddenly you gasp for air. You look down, and Onef is holding a knife buried deep in your ribs. Asshole. Everybody in this game is a dick. Aw, man. Your vision blurs and blood fills your sight. You gasp again. There's a bird whistle and the camp becomes a blur of motion. Onef's fighters from Fossveller leap into action, cutting people down. As Oddleif turns to fire on the men, Onef runs her through and pulls the blade from her back without even breaking a stride. She drops like a sack of flour. In one clean motion, his blade then takes Ekkill in the throat before the boy can grab his shield. Onef heads straight for Alette, who freezes in unbridled terror. You rise to your feet through the pain. Ekkill and Oddleif are dead. Somehow you find the strength to cleave the nearest traitor in two, but you can't find the breath to shout. You think your lung is punctured. Onef clutches Alette's wrist amidst the commotion, tosses her bow aside, pulls her into the deep woods. Her eyes meet yours across the campsite. No, her lips say, though you can't hear the words. A dozen men appear between you as Ivor steps into view, as fearsome as you've ever seen him. Yeah, we're about to murder the hell out of these dudes. I'm about to pull the guts about these guys. Let's see here. Who do I want to bring? Why is Gunnulf not in the battle? Like, why are these people not available? Oh, they're already up here. Okay, good. Whew. So many bad things have happened thus far that I'm just assuming that more bad things are going to happen. That's the terrifying just fact of the matter. I'm going to go with, let's bring in Ivor. We'll bring in Hogan. And that should do it. I think we should be alright. I mean, I kind of want to bring in Avon, but let's go ahead and get this thing underway. Let's have ourselves a look at what we've got going on here. So then, this is a pretty weirdly distributed battlefield, which is a scary thing to say, but on the plus side, I think I can make this work. If I'm taking a look properly, I can kill all three of these guys the first turn. Yep. So, since he goes first, I can have him Tempest the first turn. This entire group goes down instantly. So let's think about what we want to do. And I think my deployment here... I'm going to corner everybody but Gunnulf. Because I don't think we can hold a central position. That's my big worry right there. Let's take Trigvi. Let me have a look around here for a moment. So, this, if I move him over one and do a whirlwind, it should kill everybody. All three of these should die instantaneously, which will quickly shift the battle in our favor. However, that leaves us with 5 to deal with. So then it'll be an even fight. I need a place for him to be able to retreat back to once this works. So I guess technically I could just distribute my forces kind of to a man, I guess. What is he? Bloody Flail, Shield Wall. Yeah, let's try that out. Let's go to a man for now. And then I distribute... Oh, I don't know. We'll put the archers in somewhere over here, maybe? This is one of those weird cases where I don't want anybody getting overextended. Who's first up on their list? Oh, I can't even see. Okay. Well then, let's go for it. Yeah, I don't know. There might be a better way to do this. These three are gonna die. Trigvi's up third. Assuming she doesn't move, I stab her and force her to move around a little bit with Impale. And then I clean up these guys with these two guys. These two should be okay on their own, and then I send Gunnulf. Yeah, I think it'll work out. Let's go ahead and say that we're ready. Gunnulf's gonna go right here. And Tempest isn't gonna get that guy for some reason. So it's not diagonals. So that leads into a problem. The plan has failed. On the plus side, the best made plans, I guess. Or is she included if I do 3? Okay, so no, you don't get cornersies. Alright, so we'll just do 1. 2 down. Looks like they're going to give Onef the first move. And our first move is going to be to kill her. Because I am completely and totally adverse. What the hell is he doing? He's running away? I mean, I don't blame him. We are pretty scary. I mean, we're looking good. That's the thing, is before this battle, I made sure, you know, I was ready for an ambush. We had all done, like, our hairbrushes and everything. We were looking nice. We had our Viking hair gel going on, just in case there was a battle, because the game doesn't seem to go long without him anyways. Double damage? Huh? Nope. Let's go ahead and keep them coherent. Ooh, deflection, very good. Since we have no movement as of yet, I'm gonna go ahead and try and kill off archers, because archers right now are my main real concern. Since he can move though and fire, I'd rather make her be in a little bit of pain so that at least she's not dealing full damage either. So let's go ahead and take a shot at her for 4. He's going to get an ineffectual turn unless he burns a ton of his lovely willpower. On this side, we want to start paying attention to backbiters and things of that nature. Let's go for an attack with 1 willpower right there, just to make sure we get the kill. Down she goes. And so our bowmaster has gotten her first kill. A little bit of armor sundered right there, which does make me nervous. However, with 10 strength there, he can't attack diagonal, so I think in either case we're gonna have to use a willpower. I'm gonna have him block the channel right there and make this guy worthless. With a little weaselly bit of damage done right there, we move forward. And we use 5 damage right there to sunder up that armor, because we need him squishier. We need him, right now, he's sort of at like Necco wafer quality. And where we need him, like where I would prefer for him to be, is we need him right at like gummy bear quality. So we're gonna stick with that at the moment. With our dear friend Trigvi, I'm a little bit worried about anything he might have going on. I'm gonna bring him down here, and this might be a bad choice, but he's gonna impale there too. Bit of damage done there, but he's still got 14 up, which is really, really good. Let's go ahead and close with this battlefield over here. I may have been hoping for too much right now. Now then, with all of these guys in the back, what I want to do is I need to start getting them softened up for the future too. He's at 8, 11, so we got a couple 11s in there. I think what I'm going to do is we'll jump on him right now, and we'll do a 4. So there it is. He's now down to 7. Wait, what? How did she just deal 2 damage? Oh, she got the bonus from not moving. God. Okay. Well, that sort of fractures things slightly. I'm gonna have her make sure that she gets this kill over here because we did just lose an archer, so I definitely need to start developing her as a character. So there's 2 damage right there. Oof, and Trigvi just got run through nasty style. But he did take a lot of damage from doing that, so that'll work out in our favor. I think the best amount of damage he can deal right now is by doing another Tempest. So that's what I'm gonna do. We'll add one so that he gets 3. And so there's 6 damage dealt, and then you got a little bit of a bounce there too, which will be nice. On this side, I'm gonna be forced to use... Yeah, let's get this thing nasty over here. Let's get this thing nice and greased up and ready for death. So we can do a bit of damage right there. So he's down to 1. Unfortunately, I think he's gonna get another turn before I can accomplish anything, but... what can you do in these cases? He can do 3 right there to his armor, which would be nice. That'll set him up for a little bit of damage from all of our other characters. So there's 4. He just took a normal attack. And on this side, we're going to move Hogan or Mogan or whichever Ogan we have with us. And he's going to do his 70% chance. Never mind. He's going to bloody flail then. And so that it is. She gambled and lost. Oh man, that one made me pucker a little bit. On this side, what I need to accomplish. I'm gonna deal 4 damage right there so that maybe, conceivably, we might save a character right here. It may or may not happen, you never know. Obviously, Nid's gonna take that final kill. That's gonna be her 2nd kill, which is gonna put her up to level 2. Deflection right there, which is good. And what can I do here? Not a lot. Not a lot. We'll just sunder some armor then, I guess. Make life easier for everybody else on the battlefield with us. 2 more damage dealt. And who's up next? Him. And while I realize this is sort of a pointless play right here, because what it'll do is it'll just swap his turn for one of these guys. So there is no way to save one of your characters if you wanted to. So what technically I would like to see happen... What was the point of that? You could have killed him outright anyways, right? 3 versus... Oh, never mind. 3 versus 6. Okay, he was a little bit lower than I thought he was. Since Trigvi has so much strength, we're going to move over to here. And for a bit of revenge, we're going to allow him to take a 3-stab. And down he goes, throwing that spear out there. 2 damage done there. And with Mogan remaining, or Hogan, we can take a normal stab at him and give it a little bit of the extra Old English. And down he goes. So we only lost 1 guy. That's not so bad. Especially considering how outnumbered we were. It was a suicide path that I felt like I had to take. Simply because Gunnulf, I felt like Gunnulf was probably going to get eaten up in that one. We didn't have a whole lot of options there. 11 renown gained, so that should at least give us a little bit of purchase later on, or at least purchasing power. Whereas Alette, shouts Ivor, tearing through the nearest bandit, but you're already hobbling into the deep woods where they disappeared, ignoring the battle raging behind you. In a haze of pain, you start to think you've lost their tracks. Then you hear Alette screaming in the distance, followed by silence. You tear through the trees. In a small clearing, Alette lies with her back against a tree. Her hands and clothes are covered in blood, and she stares vacantly ahead, unblinking. Beside her is the body of Onef, an arrow buried in his right eye as if placed there by a hand. She looks in your direction, then at Onef. I killed him, she says. Alette, are you alright? You cringe as much from the pain as the appearance of Alette after her bodily struggle, or her bloody struggle with Onef. No, I'm not hurt. I had no choice. Dad, your chest. You're bleeding. Suddenly she's at your side, putting pressure on the wound. I can fix this. Where's my needle? Oddleif. Anyone. Ivor, I found them. Just as your sight goes black, you hear Avend, Ivor, and Alette standing over you. He's gonna make it? Her eyes open to the sound of Alette's voice. Normally a wound like that, I only hope I did enough. I'll survive. Dad. Alette stops herself from hugging your bandaged chest, pulling her head pulling your head to her instead. The words come out easier than you expected. Oddleif? It's a good thing Avon was here. She's gonna pull through, though it was a nasty wound. We managed to kill most of those traitorous sons of bitches, and the rest fled into the woods. There were a lot of people I couldn't save. You did everything you could, Avon. Nobody expects you to raise the dead. Avon frowns deeply, putting a hand on his forehead. Why did Omos do this, Rook? He was talking to you right before it happened. He thought my leadership would get him killed. Utter bastard. All this time we had no idea. Ekkill killed a good half-dozen of Onef's men by himself. He told me Onef was running from Frostveller the whole time. When he left Frostveller behind, he saw a better opportunity. Guess that relationship is over. Ekkill was always just the barking dog you put in the yard to find out who your enemies are. It was no accident Onef went after those of us from Skogir. He must have thought with us gone, he'd take the banner and the rest of us would fall in line. Or at worst, they'd take all the supplies for themselves and leave the rest as dredge bait. We have to be more careful. We can't just let anyone join the caravan anymore. We'll be more cautious. None of this changes the fact that Belor is out there somewhere following us. The swamp behind Sigurholm might buy us some time, but we've got to keep moving. Your body aches all over, but Ivor's right. The road calls. The caravan is already starting to pack up camp. We're starving to death. What's an extra knife wound in the solar plexus? We'll be fine. Oddleif's dead. How does she have a... Let's find out. Oddleif should be dead here. How's the wound? You notice Oddleif wince as she rises to greet you. It's doing a lot better. When I saw it happen, I thought for sure... well, I'm just glad you would have missed me, Rook? She smiles. Without Avon, that's all you could have done. Instead, you'll have to put up with my crap a little bit longer. It still aches like you wouldn't believe, though, or maybe you would. Heard you took a stabbing yourself. I guess things could have gone worse. You think about what to say. What do you think about the caravan? You mean, should we start kicking people out? That's a tough one. Usually I'd be the first to give you a dirty look for suggesting it, but on the other hand, I've got a sword in my back. Oddleif thinks for a long moment before sighing. Don't send anyone away. Just make sure nothing happens to Alette. Well, I hope you'll get some rest. I'm not going to keep it going. I'll take you up on that, you know. You're welcome to keep me company. When I'm a little more awake, I mean. I'll talk to you later. Hey now, we may get some friends with benefits action going on here. At least one good thing. If Stoic Studios, they've programmed at least a few good things to happen, maybe. I mean, Rook has had a pretty rough life right here. I don't think anything good's going to happen, though. I'm going to keep myself fingers crossed. Maybe something nice will happen. Look who it is, still not dead. How are things for you, Rook? I can never guess with you, Ekkill. I heard you helped drive off the traitors when Onef attacked us, and it leaves me wondering, what's your deal? I'm not so hard to understand. Why don't you try asking instead of telling? I asked him why he didn't warn us about Onef, didn't I? How many times did I have to call him a traitor before you finally got the message? What did you want me to say? Watch out, Onef's gonna murder you and your whole family? He didn't fill me in on the details. He was always like that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he tried to convince you to off me, but listen, I don't need to know, so keep it to yourself. You're welcome to stay with us. Had no plans to go anywhere, so you're gonna let me walk around with my own axe and everything? That doesn't mean I'm not watching you. Well, I can accept that. You're a good man. Why'd you stick with him? I don't know, Rook. Family makes you do weird things. You know what the worst part is? We became kin and married my sister. She died of a fever one night, but she didn't. She wasn't sick. He killed her. I don't know why he did it, but maybe he just felt like it. I was so furious and angry that I wanted him to beg. I could kill him without a second thought, but it's not enough. I want him to feel sick about it, puke his guts out. And somehow that turned into, well, over time, he never cared and I gave up and did what he wanted. Don't know how it happened, but when I attacked you in Frostfeller, guess I'll say it wasn't my idea. Well, we'll say we're gonna get going, and I need to take a piss. You're not the only busy man around here, you know. You shake your head as Ekkill steps away from camp. God. It's a testament. I will say that I have the tendency to get frustrated with this game, but I do want to clarify because I feel like when that frustration comes across, when we're sitting just talking in camp, that it's anger at the game not being good. And it's not anger in general, it's frustration with the fact that I as a leader can't seem to keep my people alive. So making that clarification, because I know I stretch these videos out one by one, and that's the clarification I do want to make, because by now I'm sure somebody in the last video has been like, man, you got pretty heated over that. It's a testament to the writing of Stoic Studios that they're able to elicit emotion like that. I feel myself personally taking the place of Rook and being angry in his stead. So you're not listening to me as a gamer on the other end being angry at the game. You're hearing me as a gamer taking the role of Rook and becoming frustrated with the fact that no matter what I do, everything seems to be falling apart all around me. And so I hope I make that clarification and that distinction clearly enough, because that's what I'm feeling right now inside. And as I said, it's a testament to the writing that it makes me feel that way. It's very, very rare that video games elicit any type of emotion out of me, whether it's frustration, irritation, or, you know, sadness or anything like that. And the Banner Saga has done an amazing job thus far making me feel those things. In case you were wondering, I recorded this about 10 minutes. I took a breather, and it took me about 10 minutes to kind of get back centered, and then I recorded this episode. So I will have no knowledge about what has transpired between the comments of the last one and here, but I did want to clarify that just so everybody would know where I'm coming from. I am a role player at heart. Unner, the quirky old man with the leather headband, says, if there's one thing I know better than women and meat, it's, well, he smiles, well, nothing, but I know a group could use some help. Just a nod and let old Umar make everything better. No questions now. Sure, whatever. That evening, Unar clears his throat and loudly recites a tale of travelers ending with war and death behind them. Seeking hope instead, they carried on with courage, using heart and head. A strange poem, but the caravan is happy for a change of pace. Unar bows and turns to assist the cooks. I wonder if they meant like a pun right there. The evening's meal is larger than ever, yet the supply wagons seem more full than before. You look to thank Unar, but he's gone. Really? Interesting. Well, at least it's something. So a little bit of something to give praise for right there. We're about to hit another village. I don't know how we're looking on time right now, but I get the feeling we're probably running pretty close. So let's see what's going on with this little homestead. And from there, having had our deep heart-to-heart between you and I, you and Splattercat, having our face-to-face discussion here, our screen-to-screen discussion, and as time goes along, they seem to get closer and closer. The villagers here are completely oblivious to the destruction that's coming. All we've seen is some dark figures far off, they tell you. Aside from a few young families, they're reluctant to pick up their things and join you. Well, we get some more clansmen at least. I'm gonna break it off right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me at the Nerd Castle for another episode of the Banner Saga. And it's a master-crafted tale. It's a game that it doesn't tell any new stories, I think. Like all of the classic tropes of a Viking saga or a fantasy medieval saga are there. You've kind of got the hero's journey in certain respects mixed in with other facets. But at the same time, the things that it does do that are new, for video games, its ability to make you angry, its ability to make you frustrated, its ability to make you sad, to make you care about characters, is hands over hand, something that I personally haven't experienced since games back in the old classic days of top-down RPGs. That is to say, the games in the realm of, you know, Planescape Torment and games like Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 and, you know, what was the name of that game? I guess Arcanum of Myth and Magic Obscura? I don't remember. Nox, all those games from back in the day. I can't remember if that was the name of the game. I think it is, though. But this game really harkens back to those days, and I am having a good time. So when you're hearing me get frustrated, I just want to say one last time, when I get frustrated, it's from the mindset and the standpoint of an organizational person trying to control everything that cannot be controlled. And I think the way that the devs have done that has put people like me in a situation where I think we may be primed to feel the most emotional pain through playing the game. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me as we play through, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, and farewell, everybody.